Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now, yeah. So in previous session, I think we completed what, guys? Static nested class, right?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
static.
You have any questions so far?
No, sir.
Right. So now, so we have a last session on inner classes, guys. Okay. So today we will complete inner class, okay, concept completely. So from tomorrow onwards, we will go with what java.lang package. Okay, let me complete the only one class we left for inner classes. Let me complete now. Okay, right. So now, okay, no. Various possible combinations of classes and interfaces we will see, guys. Okay, now various possible combinations of classes and interfaces. Okay, now you guys tell me, so can we declare class inside a class?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
We can declare.
possible.
Is it possible or not?
Yeah,
Yes.
possible.
Right. So in the same way, can we declare interface inside a class?
No, sir.
Can we declare interface inside interface?
No, sir.
I think possible.
Can we declare class inside interface?
No, sir.
Understand what I'm asking now? See, let me
Yeah,
write
fine.
here. So the first question is, can we declare class inside a class? So like this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Possible.
possible.
So that's what we learned, right? Inner class
Yes, sir.
talking about this one, right?
Yeah, normal
This is the
inner
first
class.
scenario. Now, the second possibility, what I'm asking, can we declare interface inside a class, right? This is the class. Here, I'm declaring interface B. Okay. So can we declare like this? This is the second question. What is the third question I'm asking? Can we declare interface inside interface? This is a known interface, right? In this interface, I'm going to declare one more interface. Understand? Is it possible? That is my third question. So what is the last question? Can we declare interface inside class? Okay, this is my class declaration. So here, not sorry. Can we declare class inside interface, right? That is the third, last one. Interface A, let's assume. So in this interface, can we declare class here? Okay, so that is my fourth question. Understand? Tell me, guys, the first one is possible or not possible?
Possible, sir.
Possible.
Possible, sir.
So far we discussed, right? I think entire our inner classes, okay? The same concept we saw, right? No need to discuss on that, right? Inside a class, we can happily declare what inside another class. That's fine. What about second one? Can we declare interface inside a class?
Not possible.
Not possible. Now third one, can we declare interface in another interface
Yeah, possible.
inside another interface?
Possible.
What about remaining folks? Everyone? Possible or not possible?
Possible, sir.
Still having doubt, right? What about fourth one? Can we declare a class inside an interface?
No, sir.
Right. So no. So few people are saying possible, few people are saying not possible. and still few people are sitting idle, right? Fine, guys. So now here, okay, everything is possible inside everything, guys. Understand? Everything is possible to declare inside. Okay, inside every, I mean, in the class, see in the four, all these four options, right? Everything is possible. All the four options also possible. Okay, everything is possible inside everything. What I mean, the class A and class B, the first one also plausible. Okay, inside a class we can declare, right, another class, that also possible. Inside a class, if you want, we can declare an interface, that is also possible. And inside an interface, if you want, we can declare one more interface, so the third one also possible. And inside an interface, if we want, we can declare class 2. Okay, so now let me go with one by one. Shall we go?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No. See, this is important, guys. People may, okay, people may ask you in interview, right? What is the first one? Class inside a class, right? So for this, no need to explain much, right? Already we
Yes.
discussed, right? So now, without existing, okay, one type of object, if there is no chance of existing another type of object, then we can declare a class inside another class, right? So that's what we
Yes,
discussed, right?
unit classes.
Right. So without existing one type of object, right?
There is no
Without
chance.
existing one type of object, if there is no chance of existing another type of object, okay, another type of object, then we can declare a class inside another class, right, guys? What is the example? So now I think already we discussed it, right? Let's suppose class university, right? So without existing LESS, class university. So without existing university, there is no existing what, guys? Department. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, right.
Class LSS, right? No. This is department class. No, this is what? University class, right? So now, without existing university class, there is no chance of existing what, guys? Department class. So that's what we learned, right? While discussing, okay, regular and normal in our class. Okay, we don't need to discuss much on this now, right? Without a university object, there is no chance of existing what, guys? Department object. How can we access department object? By using outer class, okay, university object, right?
University.
Without existing university object, we cannot access what, guys? Department object. That's what, without existing university object, there is no chance of existing what? Department object. Hence, we have to define department class inside what, guys? University class, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine.
Without existing university object, there is no chance of exist what? Department object. Right, guys? Right. So now we will go for the next one. Clear, right? The first one, class inside a class, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
clear.
Now we will go for the next one because already I think we discussed the entire inner class concept. Okay, talking
Yes,
about
sir.
that one only, right? Class inside a class. So no need to discuss on much. Now, what is the next one? Interface inside a class, right? Interface inside a class, right? Interface inside a class. Right. No. So when we will go for interface inside a class, guys, understand? Let's assume. So inside a class, if we require multiple implementations of an interface, understand? Inside a class, if we require multiple implementations of an interface, and these implementations are related to whom? A particular class, then we can define an interface inside a class. Understand? So now, inside a class, so if we require multiple implementations of an interface, and these implementations also are relevant to a particular class. Okay, I mean that class, the main class, the super class. So then we can define an interface inside a class. Okay, so now let me give you an example, then you guys can get clarity. Right now, let me take one example, guys, here. Fine. What is the example you want me to take? Okay, now. So inside a class, if we require multiple implementations of an interface, okay, multiple implementations of an interface. Multiple implementations means what, guys? Of an interface means what, guys? Multiple child classes, right? Which are implementing that interface. Am I right or wrong? Right.
Yeah, right.
Let me take one example. Hmm, okay, so let me take this one only. Class, okay, vehicle type, guys. Right? Class vehicle type. No. In this class vehicle type, okay? So in this class vehicle type, I'm taking one interface. Interface vehicle. Clear? Interface vehicle I'm taking. Now, in the interface, what I have? One abstract method I have. What is that method? Public int get number of wheels. Okay, get the number of wheels. This is the method. This is what, guys?
Abstract
Abstract
method.
method. So always interface contains what?
Only abstract
Abstract
method.
methods,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, sir.
No. See, this is the interface. See, no. Inside a class, if we require multiple implementations of an interface, see, this is an interface. Get number of wheels contains what? One abstract method. What is that method? Get number of wheels, right? Interface. So now, in order to provide implementation of this method, what we need to do, guys? We need to provide implementation
Implementation.
classes for this interface. Am I right or wrong? So now, tell me how to do that. Class.
Class
Okay, now vehicle, right? Now class bus I'm taking, right? Implements what? Vehicle
vehicle.
interface. Okay, no. So now here, what is the method I need to override?
Public int
Okay,
get number of wheels.
public int get number
Get
of
number of wheels.
wheels, right?
Written
Public int get number of wheels, right? So now what is the written type here? Tell me written. How many wheels we have for bus? Six, maybe
8.
8. Okay, let me keep 8. Return 8. Right? So now this is what class bus
Implementation of
implementation. Okay. So now in the same way, I have what now? One more class. Class, okay, car implements what?
vehicle.
Right. So now what is the method we need to override here?
Public int.
Void, sorry, not void, int.
Public int.
Public int get
Get
number
number of
of wheels. Get number of wheels. That is the method, right? So return what?
4.
4 wheels. Right? See. Array. Fine. Now I'm closing what, guys? Class. Right? So like this, multiple implementations we can define for this interface. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah,
Right?
right.
The class bus, this is one implementation. Class car, this is one of the implementation. If you want, we can take what? Class
Bike.
auto implements vehicle. Auto also kind of what? Vehicle, right? Auto is a vehicle or not? Right.
Yeah, vehicle.
That's what class auto implements vehicle. Then we have to override what? Get number of wheels, return 3. So like that, multiple implementations we can provide. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah,
Right?
possible.
No, finally, let me close the super
Class.
class. Right?
Class
You know. So all these implementations, right? So no, I mean, we require multiple implementations of an interface, right? See, all these implementations of this interface relevant to what? This vehicle type. Am I right or wrong? Relevant to vehicle type.
Vehicle type.
So that's what inside this vehicle type class, I'm declaring one interface, and by implementing this interface, okay, I am providing multiple implementations. Clear, everyone? So
Yeah,
like
clear.
this, we
Yeah.
can define what? Multiple implementations of an interface. Okay, so that's what. So what is the definition I told you? Inside a class, if we require multiple implementations of an interface, and these implementations are relevant to it, that particular class, then we can define an interface inside a class, right? See, all these implementations relevant to which type? Class vehicle type,
Yes, sir.
right? Class vehicle type. Understand? See, inside a class, right? Tell me, guys, inside a class, right? If we require multiple implementations of an interface, understand? Multiple implementations of an interface, and these implementations are relevant to a particular class. Which particular class here? Vehicle type class, right? So then we can define an interface inside a class. So in these cases, we can define what, guys? Interface inside a
Inside a
class.
class.
Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? No. Let me write that point when we will go for interface inside a class, right? Tell me, inside a class, okay, if we require multiple implementations, okay, if we require multiple implementations of an interface, okay, and these implementations are relevant to that particular class. Okay, relevant to that particular class, then we can define what? Then we can define an interface, right, inside a class. Clear, everyone?
Yeah, clear.
Yes, sir.
Right? Right. So now, so that's what we can define a interface inside a class, guys. Okay. See, this is what class vehicle type. Right. So now for the vehicle type, so definitely bus is one vehicle type, car is one vehicle type, right? And bike is one vehicle type. Like that, we have multiple vehicle types, right? So now for this class vehicle type, I need to, right, provide implementation for what? All the vehicle types, right? So that's what I'm taking one interface called what? Vehicle. So vehicle having what? One abstract method called get number of wheels. Okay, for example, I'm taking. So now all the vehicle types, I need to provide implementation for what, guys? This get number of wheels method, right? So for bus, it is returning 8. For car, it is returning 4. Such a way, we can implement multiple vehicle types. So right, all these implementations related to which class now? Vehicle type only. Okay,
Yes,
clear?
sir.
So that's what inside a class, if you require multiple implementations of an interface and these implementations are relevant to that particular class, then we can define an interface inside a class. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, right.
Yes,
So
sir.
now, any questions, guys?
No, sir.
No. So now we will go for what? The next one. What is the next one?
Interface inside interface.
Interface inside a interface inside interface. The third one. Right? Interface inside interface. Now, tell me. So now we can declare interface inside interface, guys. Let's assume, I think we did not complete, right, the collection framework. So next we will discuss the topic. But in collection interface, we have a map, guys. Okay, there is a map interface. Okay, so map means what? So let's suppose I need
It's
to
a key value pair.
Key value.
yeah. So no. So like this is a map. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, sir. కానీ
Right.
మధ్యలో ఒకసారి పోయింది వాయిస్.
Yes. So no, right? So this is what, guys? Map. So now map contains key value pair, guys. Okay. So map is an interface. Map contains key value pair. Don't worry, we will discuss in detail while discussing collection framework. This is the key and this is the value. Okay, just try to understand what I'm explaining now. Okay, we will see in detail, guys, don't worry. So now the map is what? One interface. Map interface contains what? Key value pair. Okay, so key and value we will see, guys, don't worry, internally we will see. Okay, in detail we will see while discussing collection framework. So now here key value, you see, right? Okay, so now
Yes,
this
sir.
key value pair, okay, so now it is considered as what? Now let me mark this key value pair we have, right? This key value pair. Okay, this key value pair, this key value pair considered as, okay, entry, guys. Which one? Entry. Okay. Now, this entry is what? An interface. Map is an interface. Entry also an interface. This key value pair together we use it to call it as what? Entry. So what is an entry? Entry also is an interface. Understand? Now, how it is look like now? Interface, map,
Interface.
inside this map interface, we have one more interface called what? Entry.
Entry.
Understand? So this is what, guys? Who provided this map
Interface
interface and
inside
entry
interface.
interface? Java people provided.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So now, while defining this map interface, so they created entry interface inside map interface, right? So who created all these interfaces? Java people. Okay.
Java.
So this map interface, this is what, guys? Predefined interface. Okay. Which is provided by whom? Java people, right? No. See, so inside interface map, so there is an interface called entry. So without existing map interface, there is no chance of existing what, guys? Entry interface. Clear?
Entry interface.
Okay. So now, so
Yes,
we
sir.
will
Like
see
in a
in detail while discussing collection framework, guys, this map and entry. Okay. Now, so now inside interface, can we declare one more interface or not now? Can we
yes,
declare
sir.
or not? We can happily declare, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now this is map interface, right? Every interface, I mean, if you declare one more interface, so what is the modifier for this interface? Understand? Every inner interface is always what, guys? Static. Understand? It's always
Yes.
static, guys. Every inner interface is always what?
Static.
Static. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now, hmm, right. So now we will go for the next one. Right. So now every inner interface is always what? Static. Right. So here, what is the inner interface in this example? Entry.
Entry
Right.
interface.
What is the entry interface access modifier? Static.
Yes, sir.
Right? Static. Now, hence we can implement inner interface directly without implementing outer interface. Okay? Now, see, let me take one more example, guys. Now, see, here I'm taking one more example here. So this is what API people provided. Okay? Inner interface
Interface.
concept, map and entry. So now we will see our own example. Okay? Now, let me write our own example now. So here, interface, mm, let me take, okay, we will take this one only, outer, okay. What is the outer interface name? Outer only, okay. So now, this inside this outer interface, I'm taking what now? One method I'm taking. What is the method I'm taking? Public void M1 method, okay. This is what, guys? Abstract method. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Public void M1 method. So now inside this out interface along with this what do you call abstract method, I'm creating one more interface called inner. Okay? One more interface called inner. Fine? So now For this interface, inner interface, I'm creating what? One more abstract method called public void. Now M2 method. Okay. Now inner interface closed. Outer interface also closed. Clear, guys?
Yeah, clear.
I created one outer interface. In the outer interface, I created one abstract method called M1. Okay. So inside outer interface, I'm creating one more interface called inner. And inner interface contains what? One abstract method
An
called
abstract
M2.
method into.
Right? Now, inside interface, okay. No, the inner interface, I mean, here we are creating what do you call inner interface, right? In outer interface. So what is the access modifier for inner interface, guys? Static,
Static.
right? So static means what? So already I
Without
think
creating
static
object.
nested classes. Already we discussed, right?
Yes, sir.
So directly without a existing
Creating
outer
object.
class object, we can directly access what? Inner class, because it is static. Static not at all related to what? Object. Right? Static, it's not related to object. That's what we
Yes.
discussed, right?
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now see. Okay. Now, 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 see. This is the structure of interface now. Now, I need to provide what? Implementation for these interfaces. So interface is there means, obviously what we need to create? Implementation classes we need to create for implementing that abstract methods in that particular interface. Am I right or wrong? Right? Come on. Revise the topic, guys. Revise the concept what we
Yes, sir.
discussed while discussing abstract class and interface. Right? Now, here class, let me take demo 1. Okay? Implements. Okay? Implements outer interface now. Understand? See now, class demo 1 implements which interface? Outer interface. Now, if you implement outer interface, then you can override, okay, you can provide implementation for what? Only outer interface method M1. Okay, you don't need to provide implementation for M2 method. Understand, guys? Only one interface you can implement, and you can provide implementation for that one interface method. Okay. Now here see class demo 1 implements outer interface. Okay. Now here I'm providing what now? Public void M1 method. What is the method for outer interface? M1 method.
M1.
For the M1 method, I am providing implementation. So here outer interface, okay, method, something, guys. This is the implementation. Okay. Now completed. So here see, I'm not providing inner interface method implementation. Okay. So if you declare interface inside an interface, okay, if you want to implement any, I mean, you can, if you want, you can implement outer interface. If you want, you can implement inner interface. If you want to implement outer interface means you need to provide implementation for what? Outer interface method only. Okay. If you want to implement inner interface means you have to provide implementation for what? Inner interface method. Okay, abstract method. For that method only you need to provide implementation. Clear, everyone? See, now I'm providing what? I'm creating, okay, demo 2. One more implementation class. Now implements which interface? Inner interface. How to do that now? Outer dot inner. Outer dot inner. See, where inner interface is available? Inside outer interface, right? So that's what
Yes,
outer dot inner. Here I'm referring. Okay. How I can refer inner interface? By using the outer interface name.
okay,
Clear?
sir.
Right. So now here we need to provide what implementation for public
M2 method.
void m2 method. Okay. Now system.out.println of. So this is what inner interface method. Okay. Clear, guys?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
clear.
Clear, sir.
Right. That's it. So now how to access this one now? How to access?
Demo2.m.
So now class test I have. Okay. In the class test, what I have? Public static void main method I have. Right? String args. Now, tell me. I need to call what M1 method. How to do that? I need to create what? Demo1.
Demo1 object.
Demo1 class object I need to create, right?
Yes, sir.
Demo1 is equal to new demo. New demo1. Okay. And after that, what we need to do? Demo1 dot which method? M1 method.
M1 method.
These are same, common. Now we need to create what? Demo2. Demo2 is equal to new demo2.
Demo2.
After that, what? Demo2 dot which method? M2 method.
M2.
Understand? Now, main method is closed, class is closed. Any question? Understand?
No. Yes, sir.
Okay. So like this, you can define you can create a inner interface inside outer interface. Okay. So what is the by default access modifier for inner interface, guys? Static.
Static.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Let me take some space, guys, here. Right. So now tell me. So what is the points we need to write here? Every inner interface is always static, right?
Yes, sir.
Every inner interface is always static, guys. So that is the first point you need to remember. Okay, after that, hence we can implement inner interface directly without implementing outer interface, right? That's what, hence we can implement inner interface directly, okay? Directly without implementing what? Outer interface. Understand or not? See, that's what
Yes,
here.
sir.
Class demo to implements what? Inner interface directly we are implementing.
Yes, sir.
See, here we are directly implementing which interface now? Inner interface. But where this inner interface is available? Inside outer interface.
Yes.
Okay. But here, while accessing this inner interface, are we using any object of outer interface? No.
No.
Right?
Directly called.
So directly we are accessing. Why we are accessing directly? How we
Static
can
method.
access directly?
Static modifier.
Because inner
Static
interface,
modifier.
what is the by default access modifier? Static.
Static.
Means it is not at all related, nowhere related with what? Object instance. So that's what directly we can refer, we can implement inner interface. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, so whenever we are implementing outer interface, whenever we are implementing outer interface, right? Whenever we are implementing outer interface, we are not required to implement what? Inner interface, right? We are not required to implement inner interface. Right. So that means what, guys? That mean, right? Tell me. So that mean, so outer and inner interfaces we can implement independently, right?
Yes, sir.
Outer and inner interfaces we can implement independently. Okay, fine. If you see the above example, right? So direct like I access inner interfaces and without implementing outer interface, we can directly implement inner interface. Without implementing inner interface, directly we can implement outer interface. So that is the last point, guys, here. Okay. Whenever we are implementing outer interface, we are not required to implement inner interface. So outer and inner interface, we can implement independently. Clear? Right.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the next topic? The last topic. Okay. What is the last topic, guys? Class inside
Lang
interface. Class inside interface.
Yes, sir.
The last topic. Class inside interface, guys. When we will create a class inside interface. Understand? No. Tell me, inside interface, what we can take, guys?
Only abstract
Only
methods.
abstract
Yep.
methods, right?
Yes, sir.
And even variables also we can take, right? Those are
Yes, sir.
constant, public static final variables also we can take. So that's what
Yes,
so far we learned, right? Interface means.
yes,
Interface can contain
Yes.
fully
Final
abstract
and static.
methods. And as well as we can take what?
Static
Public
and final.
final static variables also we can take. Okay, public static final means what? All are constant, right? So now, but now what I'm saying, class inside interface. Can we declare a class inside interface or not? So that's what, okay, my question here. Happily we can declare a class inside interface, guys. Understand? Now, if a class functionality is closely associated with the, okay, with the use of interface, then it is highly recommended to declare that class inside interface. Okay, if a class functionality is closely associated with the use of interface, okay, then it is highly recommended to declare that class inside interface. Okay, so let me give you one example. Okay, now see here I'm taking one interface example, guys. Interface, okay. Now okay, let me take email service. So this is the best example. Okay, interface email service I have. So what this interface is talking about? Email service functionality it is talking about, right? So now inside interface, what we will have? Abstract methods, right? Come
yes,
on.
sir.
No. So I'm taking one abstract method called public, okay, void, okay. So now send mail. Okay, this is email service functionality, right? Send mail.
Yes, sir.
So inside send mail, I'm taking one argument type. What is the argument type? Email details is the argument type. Understand? This is the abstract method I have. Clear, guys? So I'm taking one interface called email service. So email service, what definitely it is talking about all the email related, right? Functionality. So in the email service, I have one method, abstract method called what? Send mail, right? So in the send mail, so what is the property argument type I am taking here? Email details. I need what? Email details. Email details means what? Right? So for which, I mean, to whom you want to send? I mean, to list, CC list. Okay. So what is the, what do you call subject? What is the body? Right? All these things we need, right? So all these, okay. I mean, all these information, okay, inside what, guys? Email details class. Clear or not? So now here what? So instead of now email details class I need to create or not? So now instead of creating email details class separately, inside this interface only I'm creating. How? Class email details. Understand? So this email details class has what? String to list. This is the property. Okay. Now string CC list. Okay. Now string subject. What is the next property we can have in email? String body. Some text we will send, right? We will type, right? As a email body. So now email details. Now I'm closing what? Interface. Clear or not? So
Yeah,
like
clear.
this. Okay, like this we have what? etc, etc. Okay, few properties we have. Okay, all these properties where I'm writing now inside email details. So now that email details class I'm taking as a what argument type for one of my send mail method. Okay, which is part of what? Email service interface. Clear now? What I'm writing here? This class closed and interface also closed. Okay, see if a class functionality, see here, if a class functionality is closely associated with, okay, closely associated with the use of interface, okay, then it is highly recommended to declare that class inside interface. Okay, see if the class functionality here, email details class functionality is highly is closely associated with the use of interface. See, what is the use of interface here? Send mail.
Send.
What is the use of interface here? Email service interface. By using this
Send.
email service interface, if you provide implementation for the send mail method, then the mail will send, right? So now here what? Uh, if a class functionality is closely associated with what? Use of interface, then it is highly recommended to declare that class inside interface. Right. Now see here, what is the class functionality? Email details class. In the email details class, we have what? These are the functionalities we have: to list, CC list, subject list, body. So all this class related functionality useful for what now? Email service
Send.
interface. Because in the email service interface, what is the method we have? Send mail.
Send.
This is the abstract method we have. In the abstract method, what is the argument type we are using? Email details type we are using. So definitely email details means we have to write that email details functionality or not. Here email details type means what type here? Class type, user defined type. Come on guys.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So now we need to define this email details class or not.
Yes,
Usually where
define.
we will declare outside of the interface,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So let's suppose if you take one package called email service package com dot okay something org dot com dot okay email service package. In the email service package, first of all we will declare one interface email service, and after that we will declare what one more class called email details, because this email details class where we are using as a argument type, right, for this abstract method which is declared in email service interface. So that is the normal approach we used to follow. Okay, but now, so now when we will go for class inside interface, so this is one of the example. See here, the class related functionality, if the class related functionality is closely associated with what? Use of interface. Okay, use of interface, then it is highly recommended to declare that class is what? Inside interface. Clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, clear.
Okay, see these are the what do you call approaches, guys. So usually, so in this case, usually what is the approach we use to follow? Email interface we will define separately and class we will define separately. Okay, normally we are not define this email details functionality inside a interface, but actually that is the highly recommended, because this email details functionality where we are using only for this email interface. If that is the case, why we need to declare email details functionality separately, guys? When we will define a separate class, come on, already we discussed. When we will go for named class, guys, when we will define named class and separate class, if that class functionality is standard, and many other places we are going to use that class functionality in the entire application, then only we will declare that class functionality what? Separately,
Separate.
and we will provide one particular name for that class functionality. Am I right or wrong? But
Yes,
here,
right.
see, in the inside interface, what is the interface here? Email service interface,
Email
right?
services.
For the email service interface, what is the abstract method I have? Send mail, right? For the send mail abstract method, what is the argument type it is expecting? Email details. Am I right or wrong? Email
Yeah,
details.
Yes.
right.
So now we need to define what this email details type, right? So usually where we will define this email details type?
Another one class.
Another class. We will create one class, email details class, in the same package where this email service interface is available. In the same package, we are going to create what? This email details class. That is the normal approach, right? If you create email details class over there means what? This is the standard functionality. This class may use multiple areas in entire our application, right? If that is the case, then we can happily declare this email details class in separately
Separate
in the
class.
package, because in other classes, okay, other areas of our application, they may can use this email details functionality, right? But here, let's assume this email details functionality we are using only for this email service interface. We are not using this email details functionality anywhere in entire your application except this email service interface. So in this case, why we need to declare email details class separately? Understand?
Yeah,
Inside
Yes, sir.
understand.
interface. Directly we can declare what? Inside interface.
Interface.
Right?
Yes, sir.
This email details functionality only this interface only using. Right? So in this case, directly we can declare, okay, email details class inside this interface. Okay. So in this scenario, we will go for what, guys? Class inside interface. Hope you people clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What about remaining folks? Everyone clear?
Clear, sir. Clear, sir.
Yeah, clear.
Right? Fine, guys. Okay. Now, let me write few points. Let me go with one more example, then we can close this topic. But actually, usually, how the people you will do, See, the same approach, what we discussed, right? Email service interface, they will create separately, and this email details class also they create separately in the package. Both email service interface and email details class, these two classes, I mean interface and class, will be created inside what one package. That is the usual approach. I mean, commonly people will go, okay? But this is what highly recommended approach. But if you go for any project, okay, okay, people never create like this. But if you create like this also, good guys, okay, there is no harm. That's what I mean to say here. If in interview asks, hey boss, can you create a class inside interface means, okay, you should not put question mark. So that's what I'm explaining now.
Yes, sir.
Understand? Yeah, we can create sir happily. So when we will create, so if the interviewer will ask, you can tell one of the example like this. Okay, right now. But are we using or not? That's up to you. Okay, but there is a possibility. Inside anything, we can create anything. That's what I mean to say. I mean here, with respect to class and interface. Inside class, we can create one more class. Inside class, we can create one more interface. Inside interface, we can create one more interface, right? Inside interface, we can create one more class. Anything is possible. No. Tell me, what is the functionality when we will go for class inside interface? If a class functionality, okay, if a class functionality is closely
Related to
associated with, okay, the use of interface, then it is highly recommended. Okay, it is highly recommended to declare what, guys? It is highly recommended. Hmm. Then it is highly recommended to declare that class inside interface.
interface.
So it is highly recommended. Whether you will follow or not, it's up to you. Okay. So, but usually people will do that. I mean, the normal approach only. See, entire my career, I did not create a class inside interface. Okay. For example, I'm telling. It's up to you.
Yes.
Highly recommended. So interface, email service. What is the example? I think already we discussed it, right? I have written right in the above example.
Yes, sir.
Email service, right? So now, so now, what is the other point here? Tell me. In the above example, right? In the above example, email details functionality, right? Email details functionality, email details class, right? Email details class functionality is required for what? Is required for email service. Okay. Come on, guys. In the above
Yes, sir.
example, email details functionality. Let me write email details class functionality. Email details functionality is required only for what? Only for email service interface. Okay. And we are not using, okay, we are not using this class functionality anywhere else. Am I right or wrong? That time only we will go for what? Inside a class, declare a class inside an interface. Here, see,
Yes.
only where we are using this email details class functionality is required only for email service interface. And we are not using this class functionality anywhere else. Okay, this class means what here? Email details class
Email
functionality.
detail. Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so in this case only, we will go for what? Declare a class inside an interface. Okay, we can also declare a class inside interface. And one more, this is the one example. And what is the next example when we will go for create a class inside interface? Okay, now we can also declare a class inside interface to provide what, guys? Default implementation for that interface. Okay, default
Yes, sir.
implementation for that interface. Now I'm talking about what? The second scenario. This is the first scenario. Okay, so when we will declare a class inside interface means this one, right? Already we completed. This is the first scenario. Okay, now we are discussing about what? The second scenario.
Science.
What is the second scenario now? Right? Plug in, guys. Right. No. What is the second scenario? Okay, so we can also declare a class inside interface to provide default implementation for that interface. Understand? What is the default implementation for that interface? Okay, so let me go with one example. Then you guys can easily understand, guys. So now let me create interface. Okay, the same interface vehicle. Let me go with. Okay, this is an interface I created. So in this inside interface, what we have? Abstract methods we have, obviously, right? Public int get number of wheels. This is the method we have. Clear?
Yeah, clear.
Right. So now, so this interface, this vehicle interface, so I want to provide what? Default implementation. So default implementation means what? Right. Default implementation default implementation means what? Okay. If you don't want to implement your own implementation, then obviously the default implementation will be playing. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Here what? Public int get number of wheels. This is the abstract method, right? So now here I'm creating a class now. Class. So let's suppose default vehicle class I'm creating. Default vehicle. Okay. So what is the default vehicle? For every human being will have how many
Human.
wheels? Two wheels, either cycle or
Or
bike.
two.
So that is the default vehicle, right? Every human nowadays, every human being can have, right? So am I right or wrong? So based on financial status, might be few human beings they can purchase car, auto, or okay, three-wheeler or four-wheeler or six-wheeler or eight-wheeler. But every human being nowadays can have what?
Bike.
Okay, bike or bicycle, right? So that's what is the default implementation for this interface? Okay, so that's what default vehicle I'm putting, or else class
Bike.
bicycle, right? Bicycle, right? by guys.
BY.
By, right? Bicycle. Fine. Bicycle or bike. Okay, only one class, guys. Okay, just I'm putting slash here, or else let me put bike. Nowadays everyone have bike, right? Class bike. Okay, implements what? Vehicle. Right. Now I'm providing implementation for what? Public int get number of wheels. Okay. So here, what is the by default wheels for
2.
bike? 2, right? So this is what by default implementation class. Okay, method closed, class closed, and interface also closed. Let me close here. Clear, guys? So here,
Yes.
interface vehicle. So interface vehicle has what? Get number of wheels. That is the only one abstract method we have. And here I'm providing what? Default implementation for this vehicle interface. So that's what I created one class called bike, because bike is what? Default vehicle for every human being nowadays, right? So now that's what is the by default implementation I'm providing? Bike. That's what I'm
Bike.
taking class bike implements vehicle, and I'm providing implementation for what? Get number of wheels method. I'm putting 2 as a return type. I mean 2. I mean, what is the bike wheels by default? 2, right? So that's what where I declared this class inside an interface vehicle, right? Come on. So now,
Yes, sir.
anyone want to use this vehicle? If they don't want to implement, I mean, if they don't want to extend this vehicle interface, I mean, let's suppose if they don't want to have any kind of what you call customized implementation like bus, car, or something, so directly they can use what? This bike class implementation. This is what by default implementation for this vehicle interface. Am I right or wrong? See, if you don't want to use something, right? So you purchase one home. So by default, they have provided what? So like a kitchen and doors, 4 walls, and everything they provided, right? Right? If you want,
Yep.
you
Yes,
can
sir.
you can model. I mean, you can put extra amount, right? You can go for
No.
rich furniture and all. You can provide your home, okay? Or else, okay, you can run with what? The default settings, the default things what they provided, the what the builder provided, right? With that also you can stay and you can continue, right? In your, I mean, you can stay in your home. If you want, you can add what? Extra other things, right? Extra other decorations, extra other furniture. Come on, guys.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
All these things we can add. So what is the by default settings, right? For home, definitely kitchen, okay, something, 4 doors, I mean, what do you call, bathroom,
Mhm.
hall, kitchen room, 2 bedrooms. These are common. These are what? By default things, okay?
Yes.
These will come if you purchase a new house. In the same way, here also, interface vehicle. So what is the by default implementation? Two-wheeler,
Bike.
okay? Come on, guys.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, now I don't want what? Now I want to implement this vehicle interface, but I don't want to use what? Default
Def
implementation called bike. Okay? I don't want to use bike. I want what? Car or something I want. So
Yeah,
that time
okay.
what I have to do? I have to create a my
get
own
number.
implementation
Yes, sir.
class.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Class bus. Okay? Implements
Implement.
vehicle.
Right.
Okay? Now I can override what?
Get number of
Right?
wheels.
Get number of wheels. Return bus means 8.
8.
8 wheels. That's it. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I want to call this method. How to do that? Okay. I want to access these methods, this interface and methods. Now class test method I have. The class test method I have what? Public static void main method. String args. Tell me now. Tell me first how to do that now. Default vehicle. Okay. See now, default vehicle. I mean bike. What is the default vehicle
Bike.
here? Bike, right? How
Bike.
to access now?
Bike.
Bike. Directly we can access bike.
Object creation.
Need to create a
Why we
Vehicle.
need to create object? See, inside interface, if you declare any class, what is by default access modifier, guys? Public static.
Yes, sir.
Understand? Inside interface, if you declare any class, guys, what is by default access modifier for that class is public static. Okay? In interface, what
Okay.
we can contain? Only
Static.
abstract
Btech.
methods we can contain and public static final variables we can contain.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
In interface, we cannot contain anything related to instance, guys. That's what for interface, can we create object? We cannot create
No,
object,
we can create.
No, sir.
right? So that's why interface, if you declare any class means what is by default access modifier for that class is public static. Okay.
Published.
Static means what? It is not nowhere related with what? Instance. Come on.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
All these things we discussed, guys. Fine. Now, class
Vehicle
test.
vehicle.
Public static void main string args. Now I want to access what? Get number of wheels method I want to call. How can I call? Wheels dot bike. Okay. Here wheels
Bike.
dot bike.
Sir.
Bike is the reference variable is equal to new. Tell me.
Vehicle. That bike.
Dot bike.
Bike.
That's it. Now bike
Bike
dot
dot
what? Which
get
method?
number of wheels.
Get number of wheels. If you call this method, what is the output you will see? 2.
2.
Return 2, right? Return 2.
Yes.
2 we will get. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, clear.
Right. So now here see, vehicle dot bike. I'm accessing what? Default implementation for this vehicle interface. Okay. So now here by using parent interface name, I am referring vehicle dot bike. That's it. To refer that. To refer that bike what? Definitely we need what? Parent, right? Parent reference name. That's it. I am referring that parent interface name here. Vehicle dot bike. Bike is equal to new vehicle dot bike. Okay. I'm creating what? Bike class object only here. Inner
Yes.
class object only I'm creating. By using that inner class object only I'm creating all get number of wheels. Okay. To create inner class object, I'm not using what? Vehicle interface object here. Okay, because
Yes.
interface means we cannot create object. So that's what inside interface, if you create any class, what is the by default access modifier? Public static.
Static.
Okay. Now I want to access what? This method, this class implementation. Tell me how to access. Directly I need to create bus class object,
Bus.
right? Bus is equal to
Bus equal to
new bus. After that,
bus dot
get number of
get
wheels.
number of wheels.
Right. Now you will see about 8. Clear, guys? Main method
Yeah, clear.
and class. So like this we can access. This is what second approach. Okay. So when we will declare class inside interface means this is the second approach. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In the above example, the bike class is the default implementation of vehicle interface, right? Whereas bus is what, guys? Customized implementation of vehicle interface. That's it. Okay. Instead of bike, you can go with what? Default class. What is the default vehicle class? Default vehicle here. What is the default vehicle? Get number of wheels means 2.
2. Yes, sir.
Okay. Hope you people clear here.
Yeah, clear.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Let me add 3 points, guys, then we can close the class. Now, tell me. No. What is the second approach? We can also
Default.
declare a class, right, inside an interface, okay, to provide what?
Default implementation.
Right, to provide default implementation for that interface. Understand? See, as of now, if you define an interface means always interface contains what, guys?
Abstract.
The
Abstract
abstract,
method.
right? So if you want to provide implementation means definitely what we need to do, we need to create a one more child class. That child class needs to implement that interface. Inside that child class, we need to provide implementation for that abstract method which is available in interface. Am I right or
Yes.
wrong? So that
Yeah,
is
right.
the pattern we followed. Okay. Now what I am telling. Okay. So now inside interface we can declare a class. So when we will go for this approach, if that interface, if you want to provide default implementation, understand? If that
Yes, sir.
interface, if you want to provide default implementation, see here vehicle class I have. In the vehicle class, I mean this is vehicle interface I have. In the vehicle interface, I want to provide what? One default implementation. Understand? See the vehicle interface, what is the method I have? Get number of wheels is the method I have. That is the abstract method. For this abstract method, who has to provide implementation? Child classes has to provide the implementation. I mean,
Yes, sir.
implementation classes has to provide the implementation for this abstract method. Implementation classes means what, guys? The child classes, the classes which are implemented this vehicle interface. Okay, that's what we use to call what? Implemented classes, right? Here implemented class means what? Child classes which are implementing this vehicle interface. Come on, right? So now, who has to provide implementation for this get number of wheel method? Child classes has to provide.
Child.
Okay, but now what I want to say here, for this interface vehicle, I want to provide default implementation. For this what? This get number of wheel method. Okay, where I want to provide the default implementation, inside interface only I want to provide. Getting, guys, what I'm saying
Yes,
here?
sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
For
get
this
it.
sir.
thought, I'm creating a class inside this interface and implementing that interface. Now I am providing implementation for that abstract method. What is the implementation I am providing here? Is the default implementation. Okay. So now someone came. He want to use functionalities of vehicle. Okay. You want to use the functionalities of what? Vehicle interface. So now you need vehicle interface functionality. Okay, you don't want to customize. You want to use what? The default functionality what vehicle interface can contain. So that time happily he can use what? This method. Okay, you don't want to
Yes.
provide what? Implementation for this get number of wheel. I mean, you don't want to create a child class and implement in this vehicle interface. You no need to implement this get number of wheel method in that child class, and you no need to provide his own implementation because you don't want to go with what? Customization of this vehicle interface. You want to use the default functionality what vehicle interface can contain. So that time directly he can use what? This vehicle interface default implementation. So like this,
Yes, sir.
like this. I selected right, like this.
Yes, sir.
So which class want to use this functionality? Test class want to use this functionality. Which functionality? Vehicle interface functionality.
Vehicle.
Vehicle interface.
Okay, but you don't want to you don't want to customize this vehicle get number of wheel method implementation. You want to use what? The default implementation. So that's what I am providing default implementation for this vehicle interface. In this case, what is the default implementation? Two-wheeler. Okay. Come on. Now, someone came. Okay. Now, Vignesh. No, I don't want to use this default functionality. Okay. I want to use what? I want to go with customization. Okay. Okay, boss. You can, okay, you can, what do you call, manufacture bus implements this vehicle, because vehicle class can contains what? Few functionalities, right? All the functionalities need to be inherited to what? Bus, because bus is also vehicle. Car also kind of vehicle, right? All these things I think we discussed, guys. You no need to explain one more time while discussing interface and okay, abstract class.
Correction.
So
Yes.
now here he creating what? Bus implements vehicle. Now he providing implementation for what? Get number of wheels. So what is the bus class? Bus can contain number of wheels 8.
Mm.
Okay, so that's what bus b is equal to new bus, and bus dot get number of wheels. When you call, you will see what? 8. This
8.
is what now? Customized implementation. This is what now? Default
Default
implementation.
implementation.
Hope you people clear,
Yes,
right?
sir. Clear. Yes, sir.
Mm. Yeah, we can also declare class, right, inside interface to provide what, guys?
Customized.
To provide default
Implementation.
implementation for that interface.
Already మనం statement
Default
రాసాం.
implementation for that interface where we can provide inside a class,
Inside the
right?
class.
Where we can create that class inside an interface. That's it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, what is the next point, guys?
We can also declare.
So in the above example, right? Default vehicle is the default implementation. I mean, here default vehicle we are not taking, right? What is the vehicle we are taking? Biker. Bike. The above example, bike is the what? Default implementation of vehicle interface, right? Come on. Whereas bus is what? Bus is customized implementation. Bus is what, guys? Customized implementation of vehicle interface. Here?
Yes, sir.
What is the next point you need to understand? Every class which is declared inside interface is always public static, right? Every class which is declared inside interface is public static by default. Come on, guys. Whether we are declaring or not, okay? If you want, you can declare what? Public static. If you are not declaring public static also, what is the by default access modifier for every class inside interface? Public static.
Public static default.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Whether we are declaring or not also, let me write. Whether we are declaring or not. Okay? So that's what. Hence we can create what? Object directly without implementing interface here. So that's what, right? We are creating directly object for what? Class,
Class.
right? Because this is static, right? Static means what? No need outer class object,
Object creation.
right? Let me read that point also. Hmm. Hence, we can, right? We can create object directly. Okay, we can create directly without implementing interface, right? Come on, guys. We can create object directly without implementing interface and without creating an interface of an interface type. That's it. Okay, see here. Here, bike. How to create bike class object? Directly we are creating what? Bike class object here. Bike is equal to new bike. Here vehicle means what? Just reference. Variant reference we are using. Vehicle is not an object, guys. Okay?
Yes.
Come on, guys. Clear everyone?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
clear.
Yes, sir.
Here. So now all these four can be possible or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Possible.
possible.
Okay. Fine. So yeah. So we completed inner class concept, guys, completely. Okay. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to discuss what? Java.lang
Yeah.
package. See these four topics we just discussed, right? Inside interface, class inside a class, okay, interface inside a class, interface inside interface, class inside interface. Okay, these are the possibilities. Okay, we can go with. Understand?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
if anyone
Yes.
will ask, you can say. But actually, so what is the pattern we followed so far? I mean, the regular pattern what we have learned so far, right? So that is the pattern we
Yeah.
use to follow. But like this also we can go if the requirement demands, right? So I think already we
Yes.
discussed, right? When we will go for interface inside a class, right? Interface inside interface, class inside
Yes.
interface. I think we saw. Clear now?
Yeah, clear.
Any questions now? When we will
No
No.
go
question.
for these
No, sir.
patterns, right? No. So now let me close the class, guys, and tomorrow we can continue the java.lang package.